everybody. I'm Teddie Wall, and I love A2 Church, and His goodness truly is running after us, and even after Pastor Chris with that song. Anyway, so whenever you're asked to speak to a devotional, what I have to do is just speak to what's been going on in my life. So, tomorrow will be 1 month that the moving trucks came and loaded up my house on Heather Lane, and now I'm in a brand new house over here off of 41 by Mount Laurel. And it's been wonderful, but it's also been hard because I've been in that cul-de-sac on Heather Lane for 20 years. And we moved here in August to help plant Church of the Highlands, actually August 20 years ago. And anyway, so I've gone through a lot of life changes and downsized to a smaller home. So in downsizing, I've had to decide, what am I going to keep? What am I going to get rid of? Where am I going to put everything? I moved more stuff than I needed because I wasn't sure what I wanted where. This new house has a whole wall of windows, which means I don't have room to put my little tchotchkes and stuff. And so I've had to think and rethink how I'm going to do everything. And I've kind of gotten frustrated with myself because I'm like, this is taking too long. You know, who cares if the picture is 1 inch too over or up or down? But it just doesn't look right to me. And so I have to take it off, lower it 1 inch, tack another hole in my wall, put it up, and then I'm like, that's it. And so when I was beating myself up over like, this is taking too long to get settled, this isn't of God, this is like of the flesh, then I started realizing, you know what? I'm in His image. These feelings that I have to have come from Him. And so then I started remembering details in the scriptures about when God built stuff and when God settled into new territory. And so I want to share some of those details with you and kind of talk to you a little bit about how important you are and how important details are to God. So way back when He told Noah to build an ark, Noah didn't know what an ark was. It had never rained. He didn't even know what God was really talking about. So in Genesis, it says, make the boat 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, 45 feet high. Leave an 18-inch opening below the roof all the way around the boat. Put the door on the side and build 3 decks inside the boat, a lower, a middle, and an upper. And then it goes on and it gives much more details. And so I was like, okay, so God does like the details. So then I thought the next phase through the history of the Bible is when the children of Israel were leaving Exodus, and God gave very specific instructions on building the tabernacle, which was the temporary sanctuary in their journeys and everything. And so He said, this is Exodus 25, have the people of Israel build me a holy sanctuary so that I can live among them. You must build this tabernacle and its furnishings exactly according to the pattern I will show you. And then He proceeded and gave detail after detail after detail of what He wanted. And then, for example, let me read to you, and this is from chapter 26 of Exodus. And the tabernacle you will make with 10 curtains. You will make them of finely twisted linen and blue and purple and crimson yarns, with cherubims, the work of a skilled craftsman. The length of one curtain will be 28 cubits, and the width will be 4 cubits for the one curtain. 5 curtains will be joined to one another, and the 5 curtains you will make loops of blue on the edge of one curtain at the end of the set, and you will do so on the edge of the end of the second set. You will make 50 loops so that on one curtain the loops are opposite to the one on the other. And he just goes on and on about all these little minute details. And I was like, okay, God, I get you. And then the last scripture, then when he has Solomon built his temple, oh my goodness, he goes on and on about the gold and just the detail of what kind of wood's going to be used and how big it's going to be, and the inner sanctuary, the most holy of holies, and he calls all these craftsmen in together, some on wood, some on weaving, some on metal. And anyway, I just felt comforted instead of condemned for my need to have it right, for my need for it to look right, because I felt like that I was entering my... I was feeling like God sometimes feels and wants about where he's going to live. And so anyway, with those details, God's just not a neat freak or a fanatic. The thing about it is, in those details, he cares about you. He cares about wanting to hear you. He's not one of those people that you go out to lunch with, and instead of giving you eye contact when you're trying to let him know what's going on, he's not sitting there on his cell phone answering a gazillion texts and just, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he's like focused in, he's listening. So when we bring our prayers to God, when we bring our petitions to God, when we're like, God, I just feel off, but I don't know what it is. Can you help me? I mean, he is listening. He loves our details. He loves what we think and what we feel because we are of him. And so Pastor Chris always says, what, every number has a name? Is that right? Did I get it right? Okay. So, I mean, with God, every one of us, we're not a number. We are an important, integral part of his kingdom. And so Luke 12, he talks about what is the price of 5 sparrows. And he said it's worth 2 copper coins. Yet God does not forget a single one of them. And this is the scripture on worrying. But he says, and the very hairs on your head are all numbered. God knows that number. So don't be afraid. You are more valuable to God than a whole flock of sparrows. So when it says that God knows the number of hairs on my head, like when I brushed it this morning and I have like 15,000 in the hairbrush, he knows then how many I have left on my head, because he loves details. But the thing about it is, he loves you and he loves your details, and he needs you to work for his kingdom, and he wants you to love him, to yearn for him, he is super excited when he hears you say, dear God, and bring a request. He's not hiding. He's not going, oh, here goes Teddie again with yet another detail, but he's like, bring it on. I'm with you. I'm tracking. Yeah, I see it. I feel it. I understand. You're right. Move it over an inch. So nothing's too trivial for God when it comes to us. He is our Father, and he loves us. So that's what I just wanted to let you know today.